The Timberwolves had a really balanced scoring night once again, and Julius Randle had 25 for the Timberwolves. A very efficient shooting night for Randle, 9 of 12 from the field. He also had 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and the Wolves win it wire to wire in Denver tonight. Welcome to Wolves Live in our Tria Orthopedic studio. Rebecca Brunson, Marnie Gellner. The Timberwolves match up really well with the Nuggets, and Nuggets fans know it. The last time Minnesota was in that building was Game 7, a massive comeback, an epic game. We know all about what happened. And so you wonder if there's any magic to that matchup in that arena. And I don't know if that was part of it, but the Timberwolves played so well tonight and once again kind of spread the wealth and just took care of Denver and left no questions after this game.
Yeah, I mean, it was throughout the past 3 times that the Wolves have played Denver this season, they have managed to control all of those games. And the first one, they won by 3. But ever since then, they've been figuring out how to win wire to wire. And that's what they've been doing. And they've made sure that multiple guys are involved. It's not just one guy. It's not just Anthony Edwards that goes in and does his thing. But they have multiple guys in double figures. And tonight, one of those guys was Julius Randle. He was so good from the initial start of this game. If you think about the task that he had defensively, he had to guard Jokic, right? So being physical in that way on the defensive end, he brought the physicality, defended at a high level. And then offensively, he was so efficient, right? If you look at that 9 of 12, he had 25 points. He also was 3 of 5 from 3. We've been talking about the Wolves and what they've been doing over the last 6 games from the 3-point line. And Julius Randle was really the one guy in that situation that wasn't shooting the ball well. He was shooting 27% from 3 over the last 6. But he continues to be confident. His teammates continue to look for him, to find him great looks. He was 60% from 3 in this game. So he has his rhythm back. And he was also able to play the bully ball, get downhill, play in the post. He had some really, really tough shots against Jokic where he put his shoulder into his chest and was able to finish at the rim. So making those plays for himself in the paint, then knocking down the 3 ball, as well as being a facilitator and a defensive stopper against one of the best players in the league. Now, stopper is a stretch, right, because Jokic still did his thing, but being physical with him and making sure that he kept applying the pressure to one of or the best player in the league was impressive. He did it on both ends tonight.
A defensive slower downer.
Slower, yes, that's a great way to put it.
One area that Minnesota dominated in this game was in second chance points. 29-11 was the margin for the Timberwolves, but 29 points came on 12 offensive rebounds. That is super impressive efficiency.
The way that the Wolves got offensive rebounds, it wasn't like they got an offensive rebound and it was a quick putback. They got the offensive rebound and then they spread the floor back out and then they passed it around until they got a nice quality shot, right? So their spacing was so good, right? The way that they were able to move the basketball and then generate threes for second chance opportunities. That was what was so impressive in this one. It was the patience that they had, the spacing, and then, continuing to be aggressive to get second chance opportunities, because we talk about the 3 and that being one way to score. But the multiple efforts in the paint, the multiple efforts had everything going for them against the Denver Nuggets.
You mentioned the threes, and Minnesota came into this game having hit at least 18 threes in 6 straight games. They hit 17 tonight, so that little streak will end if you use 18 threes as the qualifier. But 18 three-pointers made, and again, spread out throughout the roster tonight.
Yeah, I think one of the keys I said was Julius Randle knocking down his 3. But again, multiple guys getting great looks at the basket. And it wasn't like they just hit their threes. They defended the 3-point line as well on the other end of the floor. So the combination of those 2 things was impressive as well. But I love the fact that the Wolves are continuing to just take easy shots, right? They're not pressing. Dante DiVincenzo is in a great rhythm. But the ball movement and the spacing, I think, look how spread out they are. Look how wide open the floor is. So anybody that has to close out to a shooter has to really get some space. Obviously, you want to make sure guys like Ant don't get downhill. But if you look at other players' efficiency, you're talking about Nas finding the rhythm of his shot. Jaden McDaniels has been impressive with his finding his shot as well. But then defending the 3 as well. Yes, Rudy's kind of short closeout, but he has great length. then you have to make sure that you scramble and make things difficult. Forcing Jokic to take shots instead of being a creator for the rest of his team is going to ensure that you're in a good position. Yeah, Russell Westbrook plays great going downhill, but if he settles for a three, that's fine. So I think the work that the Wolves did on the defensive end, as far as making sure that the shots were difficult, and forcing Denver to take more shots from three, which is where they don't want to be. They take the fewest threes in the league, right? So they don't want to live in that space. But the way that the Wolves were rotating, crowding the paint, being physical defensively, made them settle for a little bit more, right? Or made them shoot contested threes where they wouldn't necessarily shoot those shots. So the defense on the three ball was good as well.
And the Wolves made 17, Denver made 7. 7 for 30 is what the Nuggets finished from three. That means Minnesota made 10 more three-pointers than the Nuggets, outscoring Denver by 30 points from the three-point line tonight. A huge differential in this huge win by the Wolves with now 15 games left to play. We'll bring you a reaction from Denver and hear from head coach Chris Finch on the other side of this break.
Guys were super locked in on the game plan, did a great job. It's tough game plan with Jokic out there a lot of times. You got to keep battling. I really liked how we fought. We dug out some 50-50 balls around the rim. I thought our offense in the first half was a little wild. I thought there were some solutions out there that we should have found, which we found in the second half, which were a lot easier, made life easier for us and gave us that cushion. But yeah, real proud of the guys who have been playing, very focused basketball. So
it seemed like Julius at the start of the fourth, all those buckets. I mean, is that just what you needed from him in that moment?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this, he's been such a great playmaker for us, but he has the ability to go get a bucket when we give him the ball. He had a great game tonight, shot the ball well, was really decisive, finished well around the hoop. It was, I didn't expect him to start the fourth with Jokic. Normally it comes out, but I thought they were going to give us that switching lineup. I thought that's why we went Julius there. But he really took it to the basket and put a lot of pressure on him. So.
The second chance points in the second half, was that one of the emphasis that you
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, we've been trying to commit ourselves to the offensive glass now for a couple months. We didn't start the season with that type of intensity on the glass. It's been huge for us in keeping our turnovers down, getting extra buckets or extra shots at the bucket. Winning that possession battle, and guys were real good there.
Third quarter, Ant had a 3-possession stretch.
Yeah.
Where it was like he made the same pass to the corner.
Mm-hmm.
The low man comes in and helps, and he doesn't even look to the corner, right? He's just looking at the low man there. How has he evolved over your time with him in terms of being able to make that pass, make that read?
Yeah, I think it's starts with just a global understanding of what the defense is doing, what it's trying to do. We felt that play was there in the first half more, and he did a really good job. And he's sometimes in the past he would have kind of fought that coverage a bit, but he's now accepting it and he's making all the right plays, and he's been tremendous at it.
Chris, the Jokic matchup was pretty much all Rudy's there in a couple minutes when you mentioned that Julius there. But what did you just think of Rudy?
Yeah. Brought great physicality to the game. Did a good job of standing him up. They were really trying to screen with their smalls. That was hard to navigate. And Rudy did a really good job of just trying to get through as much and meet him on the other side. And, it was one of his better, one-on-one battles that he's had. And he's had some good ones, but I just thought, he really made Joker work for everything tonight, which is what you have to do.
And then you had Jaden, again, off the point of attack, guarding Porter Jr. seemed to slow that down. How do you kind of pursue that in this matchup of where you want to?
Yeah, we're spoiled for choice there. We really are. Particularly with Nikhil and Jalen now, and Dante's. Everybody has a strength, so we just try to mix it up. Try not to give anyone just the same guy all the time. Their starting unit is probably the most cohesive and complementary in the league, and so they play so well in great rhythm, and you just got to try to keep them out of that rhythm as much as you can. So
you guys are 6-0 against the team you beat in the playoffs last year. Given the familiarity with which you know these opponents, is there a different confidence or comfort when you guys square off against these teams you know so well this season in this group? Do you sense?
I think for us when we play. We part of our issue is bringing the same focus, intensity, level of commitment to the game, no matter who we're playing. And when we play these top teams and these teams that we have great familiarity with, we tend to take it a little bit more personal. We have to do that all the time. So we have confidence no matter who we step out and play. And we've said this before, but sometimes the only team that we really fear is ourselves. But we feels like we're through some inconsistencies. It doesn't mean we're not capable of having a bad game here, but feels like our habits and our approach is way more consistent and way more where it needs to be.
Chris, Jaden's job on Porter, is that a focus point for you guys, and just him being able to just remove him from the game?
That's Jaden's job no matter who he's on. Yeah, it's he's a guy that. Again, we've used more and more off the ball just for this year, and just his length as a help guy or a low man. But he does a good job. He's gotten better as being a chase guy, navigating traffic. And it's a big challenge for a guy to guard a guy like Porter Jr. because you got to fight through a lot of screens. So,
any other questions?
Thanks, appreciate it.
The Wolves have the Nuggets number for sure. A 20-point win tonight in Denver. More post-game coverage after this. The Timberwolves pick up a sixth consecutive win. 115-95, a 20-point victory over the Nuggets in Denver tonight. Anthony Edwards with 29, Julius Randle 25, but BB holding the Nuggets to 40% from the floor and just 7 3-pointers. That's the best offense in the NBA.
Yeah, usually Denver puts up 121 points per game, so the fact that they only have 95 points is really a clear indication of how the Wolves competed, not just at the three-point line, but also held Denver under their average of 58 points in the paint. Denver only had 52 points in the paint. And a lot of Denver's success came from one person alone, which was Jokic. But the Wolves had multiple guys in double figures. They were able to shoot 48% from three and continue to light it up from the three-point line and just did an amazing job of creating extra opportunities with the 29 second chance points.
The Timberwolves are going to head home to start a 5-game homestand. We'll look ahead to what's next on the Wolves schedule after this. Timberwolves will be heading home for 5 straight games at Target Center, starting on Friday against the Magic, Sunday the Utah Jazz, Monday the Indiana Pacers, a back-to-back Sunday and Monday. That first game, though, let's look at the Magic. Under 500 this season, 30-36 is the record for Orlando, who will be playing a back-to-back. The Magic will be playing at New Orleans on Thursday. That's tomorrow, yeah. So they'll be coming to Minnesota on the back end of a back-to-back. But this is a team that on the schedule the Wolves should beat. And Minnesota's been very good at taking care of business in those types of scenarios over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I like what I see from the Wolves in the way that they're stepping up to every game and they understand the importance of them all no matter who they're playing. The last time these two teams met, Banchero wasn't playing. Franz wasn't playing, so they'll look a little bit different, but it's not going to be what Orlando does offensively, right? The Wolves are not going to have to figure out a ton of different schemes and how to play them because they're 27th, I think, in offensive rating. But what Orlando does do is they play very stingy defensively. They have the second best defensive rating in the league. So I know that the offense for the Timberwolves has been shining as of late, and they've been able to create as many offensive opportunities as they want with multiple guys, multiple players being able to score. But They're going to have to play against a tough defense, but I do think that they're going to be able to go in to Orlando and continue on the path that they've been, continue to shoot the ball well, continue to share the basketball. And even though Orlando has a solid defense, it's another opportunity for the Wolves to get another win and continue to try to figure out how they can gain in the standings.
Jalen Suggs will not be playing in that game. He had arthroscopic knee surgery last week. So Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Mo Wagner, that's the bulk of the Orlando Magic. But again, the team the Timberwolves should be able to take care of business against. And again, Minnesota has a 6-game winning streak. 15 games left to play in the regular season. Heading back to Target Center to play the next 5 straight in front of the home fans, starting with the Orlando Magic, a 6:30 pregame show on Friday. A 20-point win for the Wolves. I know, it was painful for the Nuggets fans tonight. We'll see you on Friday night from Target Center.
Checking.